Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
If we're talking about how we understand the times as Christian believers, Kameel, looking at some of the global trends that are going on today, of course, one of those we can't miss is the rise of Asia. What are your thoughts?
Well, considering that Asia is our neighbor from the vantage point of Australia, first of all, it's interesting our own attitude to Asia. Do you remember the comment by Paul Keating, the former Prime Minister, years, I think, before he became Prime Minister, when he was asked about Asia, and his comment was, Asia? Isn't that the place we fly over to get to Europe? In other words, it was fairly condescending. And yet Mr. Keating had a Damascus Road experience when it came to Asia. He became one of the movers and shakers of the formation of APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. And that was back in 1993. Asia is a remarkable place. Of course, it's the world's biggest continent. It's the world's most populous continent. And there was a theory that every 500 years, like a seesaw, if the West was rising, the East, or Asia, was declining. And then after 500 years, the West would get a bit sloppy, careless, and decline, and then the East would rise. It's a theory, and the author of this particular book goes throughout history, showing every 500 years, this happened in Asia, it went up, and this happened in the West, and went down. Well, let's go on that assumption. At the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st, it appears there is a rise in Asia, a rise in political power, economic power, and especially with China and India, military power. This is rather remarkable considering that Asia, particularly East Asia, was in ruins after the Second World War. They were still smoldering. But Japan rose from the ashes, China rose from the ashes, and other places too did likewise. At the same time, I want to say that Asia has some very good things to offer us as far as traditional values. And I believe that's part of the reason they're rising. For one, they believe in family, traditional family. They have a respect for older people, which is very different to the West, that worships youth and treats aging like some kind of disease. In Asia, they actually believe in saving money, putting in the bank or investing it for the rainy day or for using it for wonderful purposes. They do believe in hard work. They have zero tolerance when it comes to drugs. They don't look at the employer as some kind of adversary to outwit, but the employer is a key partner to cooperate with. They have a high view of traditional morality. They believe in hospitality and even the Asian diet with a lot of fresh fruit, vegetables, and fish. All of these things are pluses when we talk about the rise of Asia.
Kameel, when we talk about all of those good values that are coming out of Asia, they're not necessarily Christian aligned in their foundations. How do we make a contrast to what Christian values are that have shaped the West and seeing the contrast between those values in these two different hemispheres?
Well, you know, Neil, the Bible is really an Asian book, a Middle Eastern book, an Oriental or Eastern book. Family values is biblical. I believe respect for parents and elders is biblical. I believe hard work and savings. There's an argument it's biblical. Hospitality is commanded in Scripture. And morality, of course. Much of Asian morality does line up to some extent to biblical morality. Fortunately, these things were imparted to the West in the classic times thanks to the Bible. So when Asian people come to faith, they're really feeling they've come home, especially when they read the Bible.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Kameel, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.